Hi, this is Christian, and welcome to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. Coming your way,
the 10th anniversary edition of NFL Updates Express. Christian, and welcome back to NFL Updates Express, the 10th anniversary special episode. That's probably a familiar phrase that you've heard many times, and we're just super excited for you joining us for this 10th anniversary special. It's our 275th episode over the course of a decade. Can you believe it? I'm super excited just making and editing this video, counting down the days until this is put on YouTube. I'm just super pumped, and so you don't want to hear me speak all day, so let's get right down to business. We'll kick off this 10th anniversary episode with some stats to know. As you can see, there's some big numbers that I'd like to break down, and it starts with the total games predicted in the top right-hand corner, with nearly 2,000 games predicted. It's pretty amazing to think of all the playoff games we've seen, all the preseason, Thanksgiving, Super Bowl, playoff. It's just been pretty incredible. And to predict almost 2,000 games, and I'm sure many more ahead, it's pretty awesome to see how we did. As far as our total prediction records, and we'll go straight to that in the middle of your screen, I predicted at about a 61% clip, so 6 out of every 10 games I'm getting right, which is on par with a lot of the experts out there. Dylan just a hair under that at 57%. As far as our total episodes, you can see 275. This is our 275th episode, so pretty awesome that you can join us for that. As far as total channel views, just around 30,000, so pretty solid, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you viewing this today, and more content to come in the future. As far as total subscribers, we had 117 over the course of 10 years, so not big, but still a solid support base there. Our top 5 biggest hits, I'm not going to read all of those out, but it's interesting to see that the preseason episodes did relatively well, as 2 of them made it into the top 5. Of course, one of them is our first ever episode in 2012, and so that's accumulated a lot of views. But also the stereotypes videos did really well. Both of them very entertaining. We put a lot of effort into it, so we're very thankful for that support there. As far as our Thanksgiving game record, well, N.U.E dominates on Thanksgiving Day, as both Dylan and I hover around 80% predicting over the course of 10 years. I predicted a couple more Thanksgiving Day games, but both of us have done extremely well on Turkey Day. Almost at the end here with the Super Bowl record, we didn't do so hot, just finishing at a 4-6 record for the Super Bowl. Typically the matchup is 50-50, and so you really never know who's going to win those, but ultimately it's super awesome to predict Super Bowls and analyze them, do deep dives, but we just didn't come out the way we had hoped. And finally, for our playoff record, Dylan and I, both above 50%. I finished with about a 55% clip, and Dylan just above me here with 60%. So super excited to go over all of these stats to know, and let's move on to the next segment. As for our next segment, let's talk about some staff picks. I'll start out by talking about my favorite segment, which is Cooking It with Clark. Now, if you remember from the Thanksgiving Day episode in 2016, I decided to make a pie on Thanksgiving Day, but it was really cool because I took ingredients that I was going to use to make the pie and compared it to a different team that was playing on Thanksgiving Day. If you haven't seen it, I definitely check it out. It may not make sense now, but after you watch it, it will totally make sense. And honestly, who makes pie on a sports show, right? So I found that to be pretty interesting and one of the segments that was unique and different, but also something that I'm proud of. As for Dylan, well, this one's no surprise. Dylan's dynamic duo is a choice here for him, and it was really cool to compare different duos, whether it was a pass rusher or wide receiver, or running backs in the backfield, and Dylan was able to analyze that and break them down and really show how they mesh together on the offense or defensive side of the ball. Looping back around here, we'll talk about Dylan's favorite episode, and he really loved doing the N.U.E trailers. And 6 out of the 10 years, we decided to do a trailer for the new season ahead, and also recording N.U.E episodes was really, really fun, especially in the summer when we finished high school and were able to go out and film things like NFL Stereotypes, the Independence Day trailer, and of course the new season trailers as well. As for me, I would go with Super Bowl 50 and also the Thanksgiving Day episodes. I just think something's really special about Thanksgiving Day, and it was also an episode in which I didn't really have to do because it was usually in week 12 or week 13, so I could have just combined it and said Happy Thanksgiving and that's it, but it was really awesome just to create its own standalone episode, and a lot of people enjoyed watching it, so very thankful there. And why Super Bowl 50? Well, as I mentioned, I am a Carolina Panthers fan, and although we did lose Super Bowl 50, it's really cool to see your team play in the Super Bowl, and especially over the course of 10 years, not everyone's favorite team gets to make it to the Super Bowl in that time frame, but luckily mine did, and it was really cool to analyze the game with my friends, and ultimately make a fantastic episode once again. As we finish up this segment here, let's take a look at our best and worst predictions. For me, my best prediction was the entire 2017 season, as I predicted at a 64% clip, which comes out to about 164 games correctly. And that's better by many NFL experts by a long shot on a season-to-season basis. So I was very, very satisfied with that and very proud that I was able to predict that in high school. My worst prediction by a long shot was definitely the Falcons going to the Super Bowl in 2013. They finished 4-12 and was tied for the second worst record in the NFC. And that's a case in point why preseason predictions are essentially worthless. Now, I will say that at the time it did have some merit, as the Falcons had just come off of a 13-3 season and just suffered a 4-point loss to Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And so why wouldn't they bounce back, right? Well, I was dead wrong, as they suffered a major collapse. As I said, they finished 4-12, and the rest is history. As for Dylan, I looked through Dylan's predictions, and there's one that definitely stands out above the rest. And as many of you know, Dylan is a Patriots fan, and so it makes sense that his greatest prediction would revolve around them. So in 2014, Dylan predicted New England to take on Seattle in Super Bowl 49 in the season predictions video. And obviously they both did, as we know. And he followed it up by predicting the exact score of Super Bowl 49, which turned out to be 28-24 Patriots over Seahawks. And it was truly stunning. Obviously, we know about the Malcolm Butler interception on the goal line and not handing it off to Marshawn Lynch. But to see Dylan predict that exact score, in my eyes, will go down as the best prediction in NFLUpdatesExpress history. As for the worst prediction, well, it also involves the Falcons, as Dylan projected Atlanta to finish 4-12 in 2016, and as we know, that was the season where they made Super Bowl 51. But, as we know, we can't go through this episode without bringing up 28-3. Before we wrap up this 10th anniversary special edition episode, let's take a look at some favorite moments, including some never-before-seen clips.
If you had 2 pieces of bread, peanut butter, and jelly, what order would you make your sandwich?
Maybe.
Okay, thank you for your time.
That wristbands was able to get us to.
That's right. That's right.
You should have had one with
Yeah.
I figured you would love that. I would if you had a
Hey, the Pats are all right with me. I like a winning team.
Skins have RG3, and the Cowboys have Tony Ono. So, I'm picking RG3 and the Skins to beat the Cowboys.
Thinking about Chicago. Going to Green Bay, maybe. And it looks like... Oh, not Green Bay. And it is the Chicago Bears.
It's time for Airing It Out. This segment contains some of the best passing tandems that will take place on Thanksgiving. Let's begin.
For my airing it out pick, I'm going with Scott Tolzien to the Detroit Lions defensive backs.
So, we have all these ingredients out here, and similar to our food comparison segment from last year's Thanksgiving episode, but this is a little bit different. Today we're going to be making a pumpkin pie, but you see all the logos on the ingredients? Well, each of them represents a different team. So let's take it out. We actually put a second pie in there with our remaining stuff. Told you we had enough for two. Here we go. Let's take it out. Look at that. Time has come to wrap things up, and it's been an amazing 10 years, as we've said. And I know the next question for many of you will ask, well, what's next for N.U.E? Well, as for the future of NFL Updates Express, it is uncertain. As many of you know, I just graduated from UNC Chapel Hill in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And so there's been a lot of different changes in my life as I've started my new job in marketing and communications. And so will this 10th anniversary episode be the final video? I think there's a good chance that it might. But I said that in 2018 when I went to college, and it lasted for another 4 years. So in other words, never say never. It's really hard to walk away from something that you've been doing for so long, and also something that's just brought me so much joy, enjoyment into my life. So regardless of the outcome of what I decide in the next couple weeks or months, I definitely plan to take some time off from the show as I step into my new season of life following graduation. But there's one last thing that I want to do. I want to thank everyone who has watched and supported NFL Updates Express for this last decade. Through the countless hours that I've spent editing on iMovie and Creative Cloud on Adobe, every second honestly was worth it to me. You know, staying up late and balancing homework and social life and keeping up with my YouTube channel, I feel like is a real accomplishment. And even on my blog as well, during 2018, wrote some articles that are sponsored by NFL Updates Express while I couldn't make some videos and transitioning into life as a freshman. But yet, you guys continue to stick with me on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel, and that's just love. And I'm just so thankful and grateful for the support that I've received over the last decade. I really couldn't have done it without the support of all of y'all. And there's no way that I could have ever envisioned like the motivation even to last this long. And like I said before, when you do something you love, it can honestly take you a long way. It definitely helped me inspire my future career path. And with that, I just want to thank the following people for making an appearance on the show and contributing. Those names would be Andy Novak, Brett and Kyle Hicken, Grant Northcutt, John Riker, Shane Poprivka, Sophia Tully, Daniel Aguiar, Ethan Conrad, Yusuf Bashara, and of course, our favorite co-host, my great friend, Dylan Moore. He's been such an instrumental part of the show, has made so many great contributions from his domino displays and Rube Goldberg machines, and I really couldn't have pulled this off without him. He's been very busy, but yet he continues to make time for the show over the last decade, making great predictions, has had some spot-on predictions better than I will ever make in my lifetime. He's been a true warrior through the show, and he deserves just as much credit as anybody for the success of the last 10 years. So as I wrap up here, again, thank you for watching NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. It's definitely been real, and the legacy of the show will last a lifetime. For what could be the final time, but maybe not, it's Christian Clark, host of NFL Updates Express. And on the 10th anniversary edition, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for watching.